What's up guys, Josh Olfert back with another video today, and I want to share with you guys, as a financial advisor myself, what is the best piece of financial advice I have ever received. Time to think like an investor. So welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Josh. I run a wealth management firm. I'm a CFP, and we help people learn all about financial independence, get invested in the stock market, and create wealth. If you guys enjoy stuff like that, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit like. But today I want to talk about the best piece of financial advice I ever received. And unfortunately, I'd love to say it wasn't from a mentor, it wasn't from a business partner, it wasn't even from a parent, it wasn't from a friend. The best, it's funny to think about, the best piece of financial advice I ever got was from a venture capitalist on Twitter. And it's always weird, like you think social media is completely useless and all it does is create resentment and jealousy and it's boring and it's a waste of time. It's not boring at all. It's a waste of time, we know that for a fact. And every now and then you find a snippet that can actually really shift your perspective. And there is some really good stuff. And if you follow the right people, you find yourself learning a ton. And for me, one of the biggest benefits I had ever in my experience of using Twitter was coming across this certain venture capitalist who was very famous for starting companies like AngelList and all these sorts of things. He's massive in Silicon Valley. People go to him for advice. People like Elon Musk or other people really admire this guy. His name is Naval Ravikant, and I've talked about him before, but I want to show you what he said in a tweet that completely changed my perspective on money and investing. So as some of you guys might know from prior videos, I've made a lot of mistakes. And that's really what a big part of this channel is about, is telling you guys about the mistakes I see and the mistakes that I make myself. And I was in a place in my life where I was really trying to start this business because I wanted more money. I wanted to buy more things. I wanted a cool car. I wanted to have a really nice house. I wanted to take these big vacations. All these things really excited me. And I kept running into roadblocks. I kept running into this whole fight for status, which is this idea that, you have a really nice watch, and I just actually did a video about that whole thing. You have a really nice car, you have all these things that elevate your position in, let's say, the social hierarchy. And this was just starting to pollute my mind. I was getting bogged down by the fact that there were people who were so much more successful than me. I was getting bogged down by the fact that I wasn't making as much money as I wanted. And then enters Naval. He comes up with this beautiful tweet that I want to read for you right now. And the tweet goes like this: seek wealth, not money or status. And you read that and you're like, okay, well, I kind of get it, but aren't those the same thing? Like, aren't they all one and the same? Like, how is wealth different than money? And how is status different than, it doesn't really make sense. And then he says, wealth is having assets that earn while you sleep. Money is how we transfer time and wealth, and status is your place in the social hierarchy. Now, for me, this blew my mind. And this isn't a nobody. Like, Naval is somebody who's an early investor in many of these tech startups like Uber and Twitter and these different companies. And you'd have to fact check me there because I'm not sure which companies, but some of the biggest ones. Naval started a company called AngelList. This guy is like a multi-millionaire. He's well respected in the wealthiest circles in America. And this is his philosophy. This is after these iterations of seeing different people and witnessing different stories and living in California of all places, talk about materialism and chasing money. This is how he cuts through the noise with this lesson. And I want to talk about each part and how status, money, and wealth can be different things. So in the reverse order, status is first. And like I mentioned, I've got videos on this channel about me, first of all, buying a Rolex, which kind of backfired in a good way, but also a video of how I bought this BMW to impress people. And I ended up in a place where I was funneling $800 every single month into fixing the thing just so I could keep up the impressions. And it was just this moronic move. And all of these stupidest financial decisions I've personally made are when my ego exceeded my income, when I wanted to show that I was something and my income couldn't back that up. So what Naval is really saying here is like, if you're going to try and pursue status, it's going to detract from the things in your life that really matter, because it's going to force you to make really stupid decisions that impact your ability to make the great decisions that could increase your wealth or increase your lifestyle. Now, the next thing is money, and these are the easiest ones to get conflated, right? Like wealth and money, they're the same thing. If you have a lot of money, you have a lot of wealth. But Naval says, actually, not really. Money is just how we transfer social credits between people. I went to work and I earned money for that. I grinded at my desk. So I reserve the economy says we owe you money. So I take my money and I go and spend it. But the thing about wanting more and more money is that it's a treadmill, because you go and you earn more money and it allows you to buy more stuff. So you buy more stuff and you upgrade your lifestyle, and now you're running faster because you have to keep paying for that. And you're on this hamster wheel of always upgrading to the nicer car, the newer stuff, the better vacations. And what you're doing to yourself is you're just turning up the speed on the treadmill. You're turning up the rate at which you have to run. So Naval says, okay, forget the whole money thing. Forget this, aspiring to these nicer cars and these private jets and all this stuff. He says that stuff gets really boring. What you want to focus on is wealth. And how is that different? And this is something I talk about with people a lot of time, is like the difference between, wealth and riches, or wealth and money. He says wealth is having assets that produce while you sleep. And all the self-help finance gurus and all the investing guys say, make money while you sleep, make money while you sleep. It's like, what does that even mean? What Naval means by creating wealth is he means find some sort of asymmetry. And the best way I can really explain that is by drawing it. It's a really simple concept. So what he means by an asymmetry is, how can we find a place where our input and our output are no longer linked? So let's say this, for example, we have our inputs over here. This is in. And every day we go to work and we put in time, right? We put in time into our work. We put 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, maybe more. We put money into things. Maybe we're investing in ourselves to go get a course or some sort of credential that pays us more. We're putting in energy, all these different things. And we have to look at what output do we get for that, right? Do we get a symmetrical output, right? We get a symmetrical amount of money or time or whatever it might be out of that activity. These are symmetrical, right? They're the exact same size. But what if we could find an asymmetry? Asymmetry just means the opposite of symmetrical. It's asymmetrical. And what that means for us is, where can we find an opportunity where we're putting in the same time, the same money, the same energy, but maybe we're getting twice as much return out of it? That's really the thing. Where can we get 5 times the return out of it? Where can we put in 1 hour of work and get 10 hours of work out of that? And you might think, how does that even make sense? Well, investing in stocks is an asymmetry, because you put money in once and it pays you over and over, and the company grows and the dividends grow. If you buy real estate, you put the down payment on the property and that pays you over and over, and the value goes up, and you can refinance the house and take the money out and buy more real estate. So investing is an asymmetry, a huge asymmetry. Building a business where you have some value-added service that you can give to people, and then you hire people, you hire other individuals to carry out that work for you, you're creating asymmetry, because it's not just your time and energy now, it's the time and energy of a bunch of different people multiplied to build something bigger. Don't even get me started on software, right? Bill Gates, he built Microsoft one time. He coded the software one time and he sold it 1 million times. So he has this asymmetry where the energy and the investment goes in once and it pays over and over and over again, this idea of residual income or whatever it might be. All these are different ways that you can find an asymmetry. So what Naval says by make money while you sleep, have assets that make money while you sleep, is you've built some sort of portfolio, or you have some sort of asset that pays you on a recurring basis and it grows. So the idea here, in summary for me, and the reason this blew my mind, was that I was so focused on, how do I make more money each year? How do I impress more people by doing cooler things and making myself look better? When in reality, all of those decisions were just detracting from my ability to build assets that made money while I slept. And once you start to do that, I think the times in my career where I felt the most whole were the times where I realized I was creating a win-win and I was creating an asymmetry. For instance, I was taking on clients and they were crying at the kitchen table because they felt like for the first time in their life, their finances were under control. Or I have tenants who are in the middle of a global pandemic and they don't know if they can get a lease, and they're rushing to sign up a lease in my rental property. And you feel like you're providing these people a service and you're earning money, and it's this win-win. And for me, the times I felt the most empty was when I was buying the status items. It's when I was just trying to make an extra dollar. So seeing this tweet, realizing that someone who kind of has it all and has the ideal lifestyle and is very admired and looked up to in very high up circles, This is his opinion. The status stuff, it's a zero-sum game. There's always a bigger fish. You're not gonna get richer than Warren Buffett, so why not just think more about eliminating this chase of money and this chase of status and build a great lifestyle where you're creating win-wins and making money in the process. So anyways, guys, that right there was the most life-changing piece of financial advice I have ever gotten. It shook me to my core. To be honest, it changed my perspective. We're gonna link to that tweet if you guys wanna go read. It's a whole storm of different tweets. They're all linked together. There's probably 30 of them. And I think that tweet storm is just as good if you really study it as, let's say, a business education, honestly. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys like videos like this, you wanna learn more about financial independence and more about investing, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on post notifications for more videos just like this one every single week. Until next time.